Okay, so I'm back doing the second retorque here. It's pretty close to 1,000 miles. I decided I'd do it a little bit early just because I'm working on the brakes right now. I'm replacing the calipers and some other things. But the retorque on these, I just did a few here to start with. The first one was the axle nut here. The torque on that one is 159 foot-pounds. If you're doing the torque reduction like I did because of anti-seize, then it's going to be 112. And then for the strut pinch bolts, or the two lower bolts on the strut, those are going to be 177. And if you do the torque reduction like I did with the anti-seize, it's going to be 124. The other one that I did was the stabilizer bar links. On this one, I didn't do anti-seize. In this particular case, there is a nylock nut. Basically, you've got nylon in between the nut and the threads there that does like a lock there, but basically that works off of friction. So if you put anti-seize in there, because it's petroleum based, it's going to eat away at that nylon, and it's going to lubricate it also, which is going to take away the ability of the nylock nut to actually hold it in place. So on that, you're definitely going to need a crow's foot. You might possibly get away without it up here, but you're not going to be able to see if it's rotating. So that one was 55. If you don't have a nylock nut and you do the torque reduction, it'd be 39. And then the reason I say you need a crow's foot is that down here, geez, I can't even see. Looking in the wrong place. There we go. Right there, you can see there's not much room between that and the control arm. So maybe if you had it lifted, like the suspension loaded, then you might have room to get in there, but otherwise yeah, you're gonna need a crow's foot. Okay, so a few more here. On the bottom, the ball joint here, the two nuts and the bolt there, all three of those are going to be 66 foot-pounds. I did anti-seize, so with that the torque reduction is going to be like 47. And then on the brakes, I didn't torque these right now because I'm in the process of replacing these, but it's going to be 25 on the caliper bolt, and then on the caliper bracket, the bolt spec there, those are going to be 79. And then if you wanted to do the ball joints, your ball joint on the tie rod here is going to be 36, and the ball joint underneath where it connects to the steering knuckle back in there somewhere, that's going to be 76. So I'm going to get underneath here and do a few more, and I'll be right back. Okay, a few more under the front end. These guys right here are going to be 33. If you do the torque reduction on those, it's going to be 24. On these guys here, it's 29. If you do the torque reduction, it's going to be 21. And the mount bolts in this hole and that hole and that hole, those two are 53, and with the torque reduction be like 38, I believe. But basically any of those, just multiply the standard torque times 0.7 and you'll get the torque for anti-seize. Okay, so a few more here on the subframe. These ones for the rack and pinion, which is going to be this one here, that one there, and then that one there, and the other one further back. Those are going to be 36 foot-pounds. I'm not quite sure what the torque reduction on that is. I'd guess probably 28 or something, but do the math. On the ones for the mount, which is going to be the center ones here, there's one stud for it here, this stud, and then bolt next to it here, and this one, and then in the two holes all the way in the back there, all of those are going to be 48. Yeah, again, I'm not quite sure the torque reduction, but yeah, 48 times 0.7 if you need it. And then also on the exhaust, there are, oops, it's kind of getting dark here, guys, sorry. But on the flanges for the exhaust, these ones with the springs, and then there's another flange back in here just behind the subframe. And then further back, there's some other connection, or another connection back there. All of those are going to be 32. If you do the torque reduction like I did for anti-seize, it's going to be 23. So every connection on the exhaust, 32. And I'll be back. Okay, so a few more here. The control arm bolts, these ones here, and the ones under here. Sorry, the back one there. Yeah, those ones are going to be 101. If you do the torque reduction, then it's going to be 71. On these here, the front bolt is going to be 98. I believe torque reduction would probably be 68, I'd guess, but maybe 69. And then the back ones here, the three there on the bracket, those are going to be 59. I'm not sure what the torque reduction would be, but times 0.7. And I think that pretty much wraps up the front. So I'll go ahead and torque these last few up on these brackets here that I got to do, and switch over to the back. Okay, so those were the last ones on the front suspension, and every single bolt was torqued to spec. So the initial retorque did, some stuff did need to be retorqued, but on the second retorque, everything's right where it should be. So that's good news. Okay, good morning, guys. Back to the back here. So on this, a few of these here, the upper control arm here is 55. Also the bushing down here on the lower control arm, that's 55 as well. And the upper end of the upper control arm back in there, those are all 55. With the torque reduction, that would be 39. And then the bolts, I don't know if you can see them, but the bolts on the back here of the hub assembly, those ones are 41. There's 4 of them back there. And torque reduction on that, if you're doing anti-seize, is going to be 29. And the caliper, this one's really light for the bracket. The bracket's 34 foot-pounds, and the caliper itself is 29. Let me do a few more and I'll be right back. Okay, so a few more real quick. Back here, the lateral control arm, or as they call it, the lower control arm, that one, and the back of the lower suspension arm, those two there are 85. Torque reduction on that, goodness, I believe it was 60. Yes, 60 was the torque reduction on that if you're using anti-seize. The bolt on the front, or the nut rather on the front here, that one is 81. Torque reduction on that would be 57, I believe. And then these mounting bolts for the bracket there, those are 48. Torque reduction on that would be 34. These two are accessible. The other one is behind the parking brake cable, so if you want to torque that one, you're gonna have to pull the attachments for the parking brake cable. I just went ahead and counted these two good, but so far nothing loose whatsoever. So a few more here, and I'll be right back. Okay, so a few more on the lower bolt on the strut. The torque is 103. If you used anti-seize and do the torque reduction, it's 73. This lower bolt underneath the front of the control arm bushing, that one's 47. Torque reduction on that would be 33. The stabilizer bar links, These guys, they are 32. If you do the torque reduction on those, it's going to be 23. And the stabilizer bar, bushing mount bolts, I guess you'd call it that. Stabilizer bar mount. They're, man, it's not focusing. Those ones there. That one and the one on top, they're 26. If you do the torque reduction, it'd be 19. And that's pretty much the only ones that I could think of that need to be done, except for if you want to do the ball joints, this one here and the other one back in there, you can pull the cotter pin and retorque those. Torque on those is 77, but I don't really see that as necessary, so I'm not going to do it. But entirely done. The retorque, not a single bolt loose, and apparently we only needed to do the first retorque, but better to find out that you didn't need it than to not have done it and find out that you did. So I hope everything went good for you. In the end, it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that it's done, but at the same time, I'm ready for the next one. So right now my project is I'm replacing all the calipers and redoing some brake stuff, getting rid of the lines or replacing the lines and doing some other stuff. So if you want to see that, the video's on my channel, or going to be on my channel. Okay guys, so wrapping up, I really have to highly recommend doing something like this to a car. Find a car that you really like and don't worry too much about what kind of shape it's in, because you can fix it up. You know, this one really, I could have found cars in a lot better shape. There was a lot of rust on this one, but you know, I did what I could, and it came out really nice. It's all upgraded parts, and it drives way better than I'm sure way better than it would have new. I've had new cars and they didn't drive as well as this on the curves. Going through the mountains, it was a blast. The suspension's super tight, and especially now that I've done the second retorque on it, I'm ready to see again. The first retorque, after that the suspension was a bit tighter, and going up through those turns was really a lot of fun. But hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this. I know it was really long. I tried to get as much information out there as I could, and I'm gonna have more videos of some other projects that I'm doing on it. Right now in particular, I'm replacing all of the calipers and the brake hoses and fluid, and you know, it's something that I didn't necessarily have to do. I could have found a way around, but you know, I planned on doing it in the future, so I was just kind of pushed into it a little, but I'm glad that I'm doing it. So check out my channel. I hope you like the videos I got there, and if you want to see anything else, just let me know and I'll try to make a video of it. You guys have a good day.